The camping trip that changed everything. I never thought a simple weekend camping trip could rewrite the trajectory of so many lives, but it did. If UD told me that for days in the woods with my best friends would lead to breakups, makeups, near-death experiences, and lifelong memories, I probably would have laughed. Now, I just nod and say, yeah, that tracks.
Oh.
It started on a Friday morning in late July. There were 6 of us. Me, my best friend Noah, his girlfriend Claire, our mutual friend Jess, Matt, and Paige, a new addition to our group through Jess. The plan was to drive up to Pine Ridge National Forest, about 3 hours from the city, pitch tents, roast marshmallows, drink too much beer, and come back with mosquito bites and dumb inside jokes. Nothing out of the ordinary. But even before we hit the road, things felt ... off. Noah and Claire had been fighting more than usual. Jess was quieter than her usual bubbly self. Matt had been glued to his phone, texting someone he refused to talk about. And Paige, well, none of us really knew Paige yet. We took 2 cars. I drove the SUV with Matt and Jess, while Noah took Claire and Paige in his sedan. The ride-up was filled with throwback playlists, gas station snacks, and a weird conversation about who in the group would survive a bear attack. We arrived at the campsite just before sunset, and that golden hour glow made everything look perfect. Tall pines, the lake in the distance, even the rustic fire pit, all felt like the start of something magical. Setting up camp went smoother than expected. Matt and I got the tents up, while Noah handled the fire. Claire and Jess organized the supplies, and Paige, impressively, found dry kindling like she'd been doing this her whole life. That first night, we drank too much. I remember sitting by the fire, watching sparks drift into the starry sky while Jess passed around a bottle of whiskey. Stories were shared, laughs were loud. At one point, Claire fell out of her camping chair and blamed it on the uneven ground, but we all knew it was the tequila. Around midnight, Paige asked, "What would you do if you had 1 year left to live?" It was the kind of question that sobers a group up real quick. One by one, we gave our answers. Travel, reconnect with old friends. Tell people the truth about how we feel. When it got to me, I said, I think I'd finally stop waiting. I'd just go for what I want. It got quiet after that. The next day, we hiked up to a lookout point that was supposed to have the best sunrise view in the entire park. It was brutal getting their steep climbs, bugs everywhere. And Paige accidentally stepped into a nest of fire ants. But the view, worth every second. We stood on that ridge, wind in our hair, staring at the endless horizon. It felt like we were on top of the world. That afternoon, things started to unravel. It began with an argument between Claire and Noah over the firewood. It sounds stupid, I know, but it escalated fast. Voices rose, accusations flew. And before we knew it, Claire was storming off into the woods. Noah went after her, leaving the rest of us in awkward silence. "They've been like this for weeks," Jess finally said. "Why are they even still together?" Matt added, probably louder than he meant. Paige looked at me. "Is this normal for them?" I shrugged. "Lately, yeah." They came back an hour later, both visibly upset, but pretending everything was fine. The rest of the night was tense. We played cards, told forced jokes, and went to bed early. Day 3 was when everything changed. Jess and I woke up early to fetch water from the nearby stream. We talked a bit about work, life, and the weird vibe of the trip. Then she stopped walking. "Eli," she said, "can I tell you something?" I nodded. I think I might have feelings for Paige. That caught me off guard. Not because I judged her, but because I had no idea. Jess had always dated guys. And Paige? She was new, mysterious, hard to read. "Have you told her?" She shook her head. "Not even close. I don't even know if she's into girls." Later that day, Matt twisted his ankle, climbing over a rocky ledge near the lake. It was bad, swollen, red, and painful. He tried to play it cool, but we had to carry him back to camp with a makeshift stretcher. That was when the storm rolled in. The forecast hadn't mentioned rain, but the sky turned dark fast. Thunder boomed across the valley. We barely got the tents reinforced before the downpour started. We huddled inside, soaked, stressed, and silent. The storm lasted all night. At some point, Matt's pain got worse, and we realized he might have broken something. We had no signal. That's when panic set in. Paige, ever the calm one, took charge. She created a splint from tent poles, rationed out supplies, and kept Matt comfortable. Jess stayed by his side. Noah and Claire were MIA for most of it, dealing with their own implosion, I assume. I sat in my tent, listening to the rain, thinking about how quickly everything had spiraled. The next morning, the storm cleared. We made a group decision: pack up and head back to the trailhead, even if it took all day. Matt couldn't walk, so we built a better stretcher from branches and rope. It was grueling work, but we made it. We reached the cars around sunset. Matt was driven straight to urgent care. The rest of us just stood there in the parking lot, unsure of what to say. Eventually, Paige spoke up. "This trip was hell, but I'm really glad I met all of you." Jess smiled at her. "Me too." In the weeks that followed, everything shifted. Noah and Claire broke up. It was messy, but necessary. Matt moved in with his sister while he recovered, and we talked more during those weeks than in the entire year we were roommates. Jess told Paige how she felt. Turns out, the feelings were mutual. They're dating now. As for me, I finally asked out someone I'd been into for months. Not Paige, not Jess, just someone from my past I kept making excuses about. Her name's Lauren. Taking it slow. We plan to go camping next month. Fewer people, better planning, but I'll never forget that trip. It's the one that tore everything down so we could rebuild something better. Sometimes getting lost in the woods is exactly what you need to find your way.